So first of all, I will tell you the basic properties of the non-parametric test and why we are using the non-parametric test. Non-parametric tests are used, number one, when sample size is less than 30. When your sample size is less than 30. So when your sample size is less than 30, so you have no other option other than non-parametric test. So you can apply non-parametric test. Number two, you are having a problem of normality. So in case of if normality not fulfilled, then we can go for non-parametric test. Third, sometimes you know that in independent t-test and ANOVA test, we are having the condition of homogeneity of variance. If the variance of two samples are not equal, then we may also come to the non-parametric test. But homogeneity of variance is not a sound condition. The condition is that your sample size should be less than 30. The condition number one, the condition number two are the main reasons of coming down or shifting to the non-parametric test. So we are having the two tests here, t-test and the ANOVA test. Right? So there are two tests of difference. One is called t-test and second test is called test of ANOVA. And t-test is having two conditions. Similarly, ANOVA is also having two conditions. Number one, independent samples. Suppose we want to compare male and female and we want to compare some other independent samples, right? So in case of independent samples, we go for independent sample t-test. But here we can apply Mann-Whitney test. When the sample size is less than 30, then we can go for Mann-Whitney test. So we can say that Mann-Whitney test is the substitute of independent sample t-test. Mann-Whitney is the substitute of non-parametric substitute of independent sample t-test. Similarly, in second case, we are having the paired sample t-test. So another test we are having the paired sample t-test. And in case if you are having the sample size less than 30, the substitute is Wilcoxon test. So Wilcoxon test we can apply when we want to shift to the non-parametric substitute of paired sample t-test. Similarly, in ANOVA, we are having two possibilities like independent samples, same in independent samples. Like we discussed the pollution of, if you want to compare the pollution of 3 cities, 4 cities on different days, this is all the cities are independent. And sometimes we are also having the case of related samples. Related samples means when your samples are same and you are collecting the different feedback from same group. In independent sample, the groups are different and independent. In related samples, the group is same and you are collecting the data from the same group, different data set from the same group. So the substitute of independent samples is Kruskal-Wallis, and the substitute of related samples when you are having more than 3 feedback, 4 feedback, then we apply Friedman ANOVA. So this table you should not forget. So when to apply Wilcoxon, when to apply Mann-Whitney, when to apply Kruskal and Friedman ANOVA. So this table will give you guidance that which test is required. So here one thing I am telling you, independent sample means samples are different, male, female, MBA, BTech, right? Marketing department, finance department, or education department, science department. So all these samples are different. So different means independent samples. When you are having 2 different samples, go for Mann-Whitney. When you are having 3 or more than 3 independent samples, go for Kruskal-Wallis. Similarly, when the sample is same, but you are having 2 responses, Like in paired, we collected pre and post. So pre and post is very simple example of paired sample t-test. So the non-parametric substitute of paired sample t-test is called Wilcoxon test. And when you are having 3 or more than 3 responses from the same group, you can go for Friedman-ANOVA. So I'm going to explain you the concept of all the tests, and the common thread in all the 4 tests is the rank. All the tests are based on the rank. So I will show you the game of rank in Mann-Whitney, and after that we can understand the same game in all other examples, all other tests. Now you may be thinking that how the rank can be important, how the rank are important in doing all these tests, right? So I say it is very important because in non-parametric test, the rank is very important. Most of the tests are actually based on rank. So how these tests are based on rank? Let's see. So I hope there is no problem in all these tests. So as I said, we are having 4 different conditions, and we want to compare the different samples, right? Whether they are different or not. So all the 4 tests are coming in the area of. So let me actually write this: the test of difference. So all the tests are related to the test of difference. Okay. So let me move to the next slide. Now I'm giving you one example, and this example will help you in understanding the concept of rank. Suppose there are 5 patients, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I am taking 2 different groups. This group is my experiment group, and this group is my control group. Because in experimentation, you have different groups, mainly 2 groups, one control group and one experimental group. And this group E is provided a medicine, and this group C provided a glucose, right? So that we can find out whether the medicine is better than glucose or not. So there are 2 groups. One is experimental group, where you are doing the experiment, you are providing the medicine to them, and the second group is a control group, just to find out the comparison. So we can compare the results of experimental group to the control group to find out the difference. Now this is the day 1, and this is the day 2. So we are taking the measurement of day 1 and day 2, and the measurement is about some, like you can say it is a fever, blood pressure, whatever be. So some values we are having, like so as hypothetically, I'm just giving you one example. So let's assume that we are measuring their temperature and want to know that whether the medicine is successfully decrease the temperature of the human body or not. So the temperature here is suppose let's say 98, 99, 102, 102 and 100. So this is the temperature of the different patients on the day 1. And here we are having the 99, 100, 101, 100 and 98. So we measure the temperature of both the groups. And after some time, maybe after 5 days or 7 days, we are going to measure the temperature of the body, right? So we assume that if the medicine is effective, the temperature will come down. If the medicine is not effective, the temperature remains same. So with this assumption, we measure the temperature in day 2, after 2 days or after 3 days, whatever you assume. So the temperature is, let's say 89, 93, 94. I don't know what is the normal temperature, but just I'm guessing it. 92, 95. And here the temperature is 98, 98 or 97, 100. ये थोड़ा ज़्यादा हो गया 200. So 200 is not possible. Let me write it here is 100 and 196. So you can see that I measure the temperature on the day 1 and day 2. So these are the values which you are getting from the data. These values are available in the data set. Now the problem is that what to do with this kind of data set? What to do with this kind of data set? So now, as I said, the non-parametric test is based on the ranking. So we have to find out the ranks. How to find out the ranks? So I'm writing the rank here, rank, and similarly, I am finding out the rank. Okay, so the highest value I'm giving lowest value, lowest rank, highest value, highest rank. So 98 is the, I think is the lower value, lowest value 98, 98. We are having 298 here, and they are sharing the rank of 1 and 2. So I write 1.5 and here 1.5 because they are sharing the same rank. Then 99, 99, 99. Again, there are two people who are having the fever of 99. So they are sharing the position third and fourth. So I write 3.5 and 3.5. Then we are having 100, 100, 100. So there are 300 and they are sharing the position of 5, 6, 7. So we can provide 6, 6 and 6. The average of 5, 6, 7 is 6. And we are remaining with 8, 9, 10. So this is the 8th and 9, 10th. There are two people who are having the same fever, 102, 102, and they are holding the position of 9th and 10th. So I will put 9.5 and 9.5. So this is the rank on the basis of the numbers. Now I calculate the mean rank, the average of this. Similarly, I will find the average of this. So you can calculate that the 1.5, 3.5, 5 plus 10, 25, 25 plus 15, 40. So 40 divided by 5, because there are 5 people, the sum of the rank is 40. So 40 upon 5 is equal to 8. So the mean rank is found to be 8. I hope you understand this. The 40 is the sum of all. Similarly, I will calculate the sum of all divided by 5. 3.5 plus 6, 9.5, 17.5, 17.5 plus 18, 19, 25. So 25 upon 5. It is found to be 5. So here we are having 8, mean rank 8. Here having the mean rank of 5. Okay. Then the Mann-Whitney test will calculate whether they are different or not. Ideally, there should not be any difference between these values. Okay, similarly, I will calculate the rank here. The lowest value is found to be 91, so I am giving rank 1. After 89, we are having 90, rank 2, 93, rank 3, 94, rank 4, 95, rank 5, then 96, 6, 7 and 8, 7.5, 7.5, 9 and 10. So these are the ranks of the day 2. Now I will calculate the mean rank. 5 plus 2, 7, 7 plus 4, 11, 11, 12, 12 plus 3, 15, 15 upon 5 is equal to 3. Now you can see that the mean rank here is found to be 3. And in this case, what is the average of the rank? 7.5 plus 7.5, 15, 15 plus 10, 25, 25 plus 15, 40, 40 divided by 5 is equal to 8. So here the mean rank is 8. So the software will check whether the mean rank of the two groups are different or not. So in the Mann-Whitney test, not only in Mann-Whitney, in almost every test, we compare the mean rank, right? So mean rank is the basis of all the non-parametric tests. So this is the mean rank of group 1. This is the mean rank of group 2. Similarly, this is the mean rank of group 1. This is the mean rank of group 2. So almost we calculate all the non-parametric tests from the mean rank. Okay, now I hope, is it clear to you? Now I am just asking, this concept of mean rank is clear or not? Okay. Because if it is clear, then everything is clear. If it is clear to you, then everything is clear. Great. Great. So now I'm showing you the concept of Mann-Whitney first. Let me open the SPSS file. And first of all, I will show you the Mann-Whitney test, which is calculated on the basis of the mean rank. So let me share you the SPSS file. Okay. Now we are having SPSS file, and I already shared my data with you. So here, first of all, I am going to the Mann-Whitney folder, and let me open this. Okay. Now, what happens in this case? The medicine and placebo case is there. So there are 6 and 6 patients in the group number 1 and group number 2. In group number 1, we are having 6 patients. In group number 2, we are also have 6 patients. The patient number of groups, number of people in different groups may be different here. So let me take this another person, and here I'm saying it is 26, and the on Sunday it is 21. Let's say I added one number just to show that we are having the unequal number of members in the groups. Now in first group we are having 6 members, and in second group we are having 7 members, right? Okay, so I want to check this case can be expressed like this: O1 and O2, then X, and then O3, and then do nothing, O4. So this is called, and we also say R. So this is an experimental design, and this experimental design is saying you that initially the 2 samples are selected randomly. This is called randomization. Randomization means initially both the groups are selected in such a way that O1 should be equal to O2, because initially you can understand this. Initially group number 1 and group number 2 should not be different, otherwise you will get the biased result. So initially you are taking the same group, similar type of group. In first group you provide a medicine. Axis here, axis is called medicine, and it is a just kind of experimentation. So you provide medicine to the first group and then take the measurement O3. O3 is the measurement. O1 and O2 is the measurement. So all the values are measurement. So this is O1 and this is O2. This is O3 and this is O4. So here we want that O3 should not be equal to O4. Why? Because we want to prove that this medicine bring a significant difference between the two, right? So this is the concept of Mann-Whitney test. And first of all, I'm showing you how to run it. So go to analyze, go to non-parametric test, and we are having the 2 independent sample case. This is the case number 1. Case number 1 means we want to check the independent samples between the 2 groups. And here, first I want to check whether on Monday both are same or not. So you can see that I just did it by default. Click on the Mann-Whitney mu, and in option we are going to the descriptive. So just okay this, and okay, here grouping variable is treatment. Grouping variable means the experimental group and the control group. So 1 here is my control experimental group, and 2 here is my experimental group. So just this command I have to provide to the software and click OK. Now you can see that the average rank of the medicine group, where we are having the 6 patients, is 5.33, and the average mean rank of the second group, placebo group, where we are having the 7 people, is 8.43. Now the question is that can we say both the mean ranks are equal? So here we have to check the probability value. So here the probability value is saying 147. The probability value is found to be 0.147. This indicates that all the groups are same. So let me explain you again. So what we did in this example. So I just checked here that whether my observed value of one group is equal to observed value of second group. This is the null hypothesis of Mann-Whitney. So this is observation from the group number 1, and O2 is the observation of group number 2. And we are assuming that the observation is equal to observation 2. Now check the probability value. So here Mann-Whitney value is found to be 11, and with the probability value is 0.147. And because the p value is more than 0.05, so null hypothesis cannot be rejected. Null hypothesis cannot be rejected. So this is the conclusion we can draw from here. So what is the conclusion? Conclusion that initially both the groups are same. Initially both the groups are same. Okay, so I hope you clear on this. Initially both the groups are same. Now I want to check what happens after taking the medicine what happens after taking the medicine. So go to the analyze and non-parametric test, legacy, same sample. Now we want to compare the measurement on Saturday. So here I took the test variable as Saturday because I want to know whether the medicine is creating a significant difference between them or not. So I just click on the main button and click OK. So here the mean rank is 3.5 of the first group, means it comes very low, and the placebo means second group. In second group we are having the value of 10, and can we say the 10 and 3 are very different? So let's see the probability value. So I can explain with notation. So O1 X to O3 and O2 nothing O4. So this was our experimental design. We already checked O1 and O2. Now we are going to check O3 and O4 with the null hypothesis that O3 is equal to O4. It is my null hypothesis. However, I want to reject it. So for rejection, I will check the Mann Whiteley test, which is coming to be 0.000, and the p-value is coming to be 0.002. So you can see that the p-value, because conclusion we can take from the p-value, here p-value is found to be significant. And now I have to check that which O is high. Okay, so let me check. Yeah, so you can see that the temperature of the group number 1 significantly decreases. So what is my conclusion? Conclusion is that medicine decreases the temperature significantly. Medicine, the medicine decreases the temperature significantly because there is a p-value significant. So basically, this test is known as the Mann Whiteley test. Although I am going to explain you with more examples. So let me go for example number 2, so that you are having some basic idea that how to apply Mann Whiteley test. Okay, so let's move to the data, and I'm taking this example Mann Whiteley test. Okay, so here let me explain you the example first. So let me check whether I shared my file or not. Yeah, fine. Okay, in this case, I take this example from the Andy Field book, and he said that there are two group of patients. This is the, you can see that there are two group of patients. This is the group number 1. This is the group number 1, and this is the group number 2. So we are having two group of patients, and both the groups are independent, and all the people are suffering from the tension. So they are having a huge depression, and because to remove the depression, so doctor gave drug to the patient, first group of patient, and alcohol to the group patient 2. So to the first group, the doctor provided drug of depression, and the second group they provide the alcohol to reduce the depression. The level of depression on Sunday is this, and the level of depression on Wednesday is this. So we want to know that whether which medicine is more effective in reducing the depression. So let's move to the analyze and a non-parametric test, legacy dialog, and we are going to apply 2 independent sample sets. Sunday I will send on this Sunday and Wednesday. Drug is my grouping variable, where 1 means the drug and 2 means the alcohol. After that, I just click OK, and let me click on this also, descriptives, continue, and OK. Now we have to find out what is the mean rank on Sunday. So initially the mean rank was 11.95 and 9.05. It means there seems to be equal. Similarly, in case of Wednesday, means after 3 days, the rank of drug is 15.3110 and alcohol is 5.90. So we want to check whether they are significant or not. Can we say 11.95 and 9.05 are significant? Answer is no. P-value is coming to be 0.0269. So when this probability value is more than 0.05, we can say that on Sunday there is no difference between the tension in both the groups. Similarly, after Wednesday, I find out the P value is highly significant, and in this case the mean rank of first group is only 4 and second group is only 59. So in Sunday, it is found that the alcohol is more effective in reducing the depression as compared to the drug, because you can see that the mean rank of alcohol reduces significantly from 90 to 59, and this increases, it is 151. So we can say there is a significant effect on the depression by the alcohol as compared to medicine. So this example is also known as Mann-Whitney example, and this example is just a substitute of the non-parametric test. And after this, I'm going to the second test, that is called Wilcoxon test. Okay, now give your understanding whether you are getting it or not. All the tests are analyzed with the help of p-value, so that is not a problem. And if the mean rank is low, it means the value of the observation is low. Like suppose your dependent variable is performance. So low mean rank means low performance. High mean rank means high performance. So this is the value you can understand. Mean rank. So we are measuring the rank, not the. Okay. Let me explain you once again. Same example I am taking. Okay, so let some other example. Take some other example. SPSS. So I'm going to open the SPSS with some new file, and let's try to interpret that. Okay. So in this case, this example is actually same example as the drug wala case. Okay. Now let's try. We are having the two type of incentives in the company, right? So incentive and no incentive. The employee of the company are divided into two groups. To the first group, you provide the incentive, and the second group, you are not providing any incentive, right? So you divide the company, you divide the employees into two groups. To the first group, you say that if you perform better, we will provide incentive. To the second group, it is said that if you don't do better performance, or if you do provide better performance, we are not giving any incentive to you. So the objective of this research question is that we want to see whether incentive will motivate the employee to perform better or not. So we are having the performance initially before training program, and after introducing the incentive. This research question can be written as I'm writing here, the employee 1 and employee 2, and initially they should be same. Initially they should be same. I hope you understand why. Because if they are initially same, then we can say that the experiment is having a significant impact on their performance. So employee 1, you introduce incentives to increase the performance and the check performance, and here you are not offering nothing, and check their performance. So what is the objective here? There are two things you have to prove, that initially this E1 should be equal to E2, means initially their performance is same, but after introducing the incentives, the performance of first group should be greater than performance of second group. So with this we are going to prove here. So I think the condition is clear, that what is the purpose of the researcher. So we are here to prove that incentives are better than no incentives. Okay, so now I want to apply non-parametric test, legacy dialogues, and we are going to apply the two independent samples. Click it, and we are going to check the performance before the incentive, after the incentive, and incentive is divided into two parts: incentive and no incentive. Incentive and no incentive. Continue, and if I click OK, I will get my results. So if you see the results, the mean rank, actually it is the same example. The 11.5 and 9, it is the mean rank of both the groups before the experiment. And I want them to be equal. So you can say the probability value is 269. So it means they are equal. It means they are equal. Now, after providing the incentive and no incentive, I found that what is the difference between the rank. So the mean rank of first group is 4 and the mean rank of the second group is 59. Are they significant? Yes, they are significant because the probability value is found to be significant. So we can say there is a significant difference between the two. And because I have to check whether which performance is better. So you can see that sum of the rank. I hope you can see the sum of the rank. In case of incentive, the mean rank is high. In case of no incentive, the mean rank is low. So it means higher the rank, higher the performance. So the average performance of the incentive group is better than no incentive group. So in this way, we can analyze the Mann-Whitney test. So after 3 examples, I hope the clarity will come. Now tell me, are you clear or not? Okay, so I find, I think now it is clear. Because if this example is clear, all the 3 examples have the same interpretation. Now I'm going to explain the case number 2.